pleased to talk about this book. I have a copy of it. It's called Stories of the Stage, and whether you know it or not, it's been 25 years in essence. This is the 25th year anniversary of the Air Canada Centre opening, renamed Scotiabank Arena, back in 2017 or 18, right around there. But the venue it's changed sports, it's changed live music, it's changed the effectiveness of Union Station, obviously. Nobody really wanted to say goodbye to Maple Leaf Gardens. We all have our great memories of that it evokes, but it was probably time. And in studio, the author of the book and the genesis behind the idea for the book, it's Daniel Tate. It's great to have you in.
Hi, Greg. Good to be here.
Tell me about what made you think 25 years, this arena, and so many of the stories of a major concert city and our biggest indoor concert venue. It needs a book.
Absolutely. It's been a quarter century. It's such a legendary venue. 13 million concert goers have gone through its doors since it opened in 1999. And so it was time to put together a book for, such a legendary building in our city. And as the anniversary approached, I actually got a call from the good folks at Scotiabank Arena, and they said, hey, we want to do something special for this big milestone for the building. They know I have this account called the Flyer Vault, which, I've always been celebrating Toronto music history. I put out a book in 2019.
That's on Instagram, right? People can find you there at the Flyer Vault.
Yep. And I said, hey, let's do it. This building deserves a book. Let's make it happen.
I think what's fascinating to me is if you go back to 1999, we had such a different universe. We bought tickets differently. We attended shows differently. And the best way I can put it, you tell me if I'm remembering this right, Maple Leaf Gardens really, really antiquated by then. We were about 3 or 4 years into then the Molson Amphitheater, which we know now as Bud Stage, but we were kind of struggling. Like, I think even then, Skydome had a lot of shows that artists could play to more people than Maple Leaf Gardens, and at the time maybe even have similar acoustics. And we just thought, we need a better experience. We need suites, we need better sound, we need an indoor arena, because all these other cities around us, Detroit, Buffalo, they'd all built them, and we needed a new one ourselves.
Yeah, spot on. And the timing was perfect because we had a brand new basketball franchise that needed an arena. Concert tours were becoming more sophisticated, bigger, so they were growing out of what Maple Leaf Gardens could offer them. Molson Amphitheater was only available for a couple months during the year in the summertime. Mm-hmm. And so, live music at the turn of the century really was exploding. It needed a new modern facility. We had a new basketball team who also needed it. So it was kind of like a confluence of all these factors that came together. So the Air Canada Centre came online at the perfect time for our city.
And they started, people might remember seeing a Raptors game at then Skydome, and it was like, it's nice that we have an NBA team, but this doesn't feel like a long-term solution to watch an NBA game in a cavernous baseball stadium that's supposed to hold 50,000.
Yeah, and there's actually we talk about it in the book. We have a chapter called Genesis where we talk about how the arena came to fruition. And there was a time in our city when the Maple Leafs ownership group and the Raptors ownership group couldn't agree, and so there was a time they were going to build two separate, brand new arenas, one for hockey and one for basketball, and people were like, that's completely ridiculous. Alan Slate came to the forefront with Steve Stavro. They ended up buying the Raptors, formed Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment, and the Air Canada Centre opened in February of 1999.
I want to get to some of the shows. The book is Stories of the Stage. Daniel Tate is here talking about this new book that celebrates the 25th anniversary of concerts at this particular venue. But I always think the attachment to Union Station was massive. At least they made, you see a lot of cities make really bad decisions about venues and then they're stuck with it. This attached to Union Station. It attached to the Path as well. And I think there's a lot more downtown construction around Union Station and on Front Street because of this venue in the last 25 years. Everybody thinks it makes sense. It would have been a terrible decision almost to put it anywhere else in the city. Because even Maple Leaf Gardens, people either had to drive there, walk there. If you got into Union off the GO train, you could get to the Jays easily, but it was still about a 25-minute walk up to, or a few subway stops to go to a Leafs game on a Saturday night. This worked for everybody.
Yeah, it's perfect location, right in the central business district downtown, connected with all the transit hubs in the city, right on, one of the anchors on Bremner Rogers Center being the other anchor. So perfect location, and it's always a great journey to go to shows, whether you're coming from the suburbs, take the GO train, or maybe you're driving in. It's just the best location. And I remember when it first opened up, it would have these spotlights on the roof, and it would just, if you're up from the helicopters, you would look and just be like, wow, this is such a landmark, exciting venue, and everybody was attracted to it and wanted to go see shows.
What are some of the shows you loved revisiting in your own mind in the book that you may have been at and you thought, I absolutely forgot that happened, and then now it's enhanced my memory and it's something to share with the people who get the book? Well,
for me, it was my first show there, and I'm a hip-hop head, so when I saw the Jay-Z Hard Knock Life tour there, it was I think it was the fourth or fifth show in this brand new arena. And I still remember walking in this place and just thinking, wow, this is so state of the art. This is so modern. It had that brand new building smell, going on the floor, seeing the Leafs banners. It was amazing. And I wrote about it in the intro to the book. But other than that, I would say the Tragically Hip shows were really special to include in the book. Getting artifacts and memorabilia, getting stories from the band themselves, from fans who attended the shows. You look at this venue and you're like, yeah, this is the house that the Hip built.
Yeah, they opened it, right? I feel like they played the night before the first Leafs game there, or the night after the first Leafs game there in February.
They played the first two shows there.
Obviously, the 2016 tour, which
of course,
everybody
the goodbye shows are in here.
Our hearts were in our throats, given the impact that was having on us, knowing it was Gord's last tour.
Yeah, the whole building in tears. We have fans who are in this book quoted just saying we've never seen so much emotion at a concert for those last Man Machine Poem tours.
Yeah. Daniel Tate's in here. The Stories of the Stage is the book about the Scotiabank Arena, renamed after the Air Canada Centre in 2018. We've also seen an evolution here. I think they've really tightened up Bud Stage. Like, it does not look like a 29-year-old venue. That's the one thing I think we could say about MLSE for sure, is that they've modernized Scotiabank Arena. I was there for Springsteen the other night. They've done a lot with the concourse. There was a lot of construction. I think I'm going to give Keith Pelly that credit for the new MLSE president. He's like, let's make a better experience from the second you walk through the doors, and not just whether the team wins or loses or not, or whether you like the band that night. And Bud Stage is obviously going to go through a renaissance with this Reverb of Ontario Place, right? And they're going to try to make it an all year round venue. So we've got some interesting things coming.
Yeah, and it's actually funny you mentioned how no teams lose at a concert, which is actually a big quote that our pal Joey Vendetta is saying in the book as well. Everyone wins at a concert, right?
Yes.
And especially if you go to Scotiabank Arena now, the concert experience is just so elevated as a fan. Whether it's buying merch from like your app so you don't have to wait in line, whether it's having different places you can go to have a post-show drink or a pre-show drink. It's fantastic. And, the venue just gets better and better each year. They're reinvesting into the fan experience, and it's great.
I had an argument with a friend as to whether the next time Taylor Swift comes to Toronto, she's playing at Scotiabank. Maybe she gets tired of all these football stadiums. She's in this moment right now, and when you see bands in the moment. Like, I remember Sting saying, I looked out at Shea Stadium in 1983. We're playing to 75,000 people on Synchronicity, and I'm like, we should break up. This isn't going to get better than this. Now, Taylor Swift's going to keep touring, but maybe she wants it just a little more intimate than a cavernous 50,000 every night.
Yeah, she's so big that playing Scotiabank Arena would be like an underplay for her now. But
maybe a Massey Hall acoustic Taylor Swift tour in 15 years.
She's in the book too.
She played there a lot. Yeah,
she played there a lot. And there's one thing I learned about when I was putting this book together is Taylor just loves her fans, and her fans love her so much that in her 2010 tour she had this thing called the Tea Party, which was an after show hangout with the fans. And so I don't know how you would get tickets, or if it was like by a draw, but there's a fan in here who tells her story of just hanging out with Taylor and her mom backstage at this fan-made party with Taylor at the venue, and there's some awesome pictures.
The book is called Stories of the Stage, well worth picking up. Daniel Tate's the author. We love having you on our show, certainly for other stuff, but thanks for coming in and talking about this book, and we'll visit again soon.
Thanks a lot, Greg.
You can find that book on Amazon.ca. Go look for it as well at an Indigo store near you. It's great, and just all the photos. The stories are great, but the photos will take you back to all these shows that you've seen before.